Good evening and welcome to Brands Hatch round 7 and 8 for the United Touring Championship. Tonight I am James Parfitt, and tonight I am joined in the booth by the one, the only Michael David will be joining me. Zach is off having a day of rest, spending it with his family. So welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. As I say, we are at Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit. Let's have a look with this flyby here provided by simracingcommunity.com. Please go and check them out for all your sim racing needs, forums, paint schemes, and anything else that you require. And news is all on there as well. So the track itself opened in 1950. It's an FIA Grade 2 circuit. Currently holds the GT World Challenge Europe, the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, the BTCC and the BSB, and also the TSR UK. Now, it did hold the Formula One circuit from 1964 to 1986. Now, there is currently 8 configurations that you can roughly use over the period of time since this circuit's open. Now, we've only got 2 currently in use. You've got the Grand Prix circuit and the Indy circuit, which, as you know, is a shortened version of the Grand Prix. But there has been 6 other configurations of this circuit, and I think that what's going to make this an interesting one is we are on the Grand Prix. 3.916 kilometres or 2.43 miles, 9 turns, and the lap record is actually set by Adam Carroll in an A1GP Ferrari from 2009. Now that's going to be definitely not up for grabs today, as we're in the TCRs, and we've currently got a 1:32.06 on the fastest time at the moment. But as I say, we have got Michael David Wimmy in the booth. Let's bring Michael into the booth. Michael, good evening.
Good evening, James. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Love this track. All the off-camber, blind turns, just with these touring cars, is just going to bring some great racing tonight, and I can't wait for the start.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely epic season so far. Last time out in Donington Park, Dan Mould took the sprint victory, and then in the feature, Callum Reid Garton joined us for the first time, and he took the feature victory. So well done to Callum Reid Garton. What an absolutely amazing evening. I think, to be honest, if I'm not mistaken, actually, I don't actually think that is correct. I just want to check something at the moment, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure Callum Reid Garton did a little bit better than that in the sprint. Just bear with me as I start muscling my way through my many bits of paper information. No, he did. He actually got 3rd in the sprint, and then he took 1st in the feature. So that was right in the first place. Brands Hatch, always an epic classic circuit. You know, we've got TCRs here today, and that's, well, TCRs in general is going to be interesting, especially with this series, because, you know, they do like to rub doors. They do like to really put the cars around. You know, they have gone for a pure bred touring car season with a full reverse grid as well. And that's going to bring for some exciting racing here today.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think you could put just about any kind of car on this track, and it's going to bring about, for the most part, great racing. But something that is as close in racing as the touring cars are, you know, all these cars are 300 horsepower or 350 horsepower. They're all very similar in weight. They're all front wheel drive, and they love to just rub and bump, and everything about this track is just going to be so amazing. I know you were talking earlier there, talking about the different cars that different racing types that you know, are held here. The NASCAR Whelen Tour Europe is something that I've actually never heard of until about 2 seconds ago. And you want to talk about NASCAR and Robbins Racing, this touring car championship? That's the goal here, is just get as close door to door as you can. And I you know, can't wait to get started, just like I said.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Say 13 laps of the sprint, 17 laps of the feature, plus the mandatory drive-through, which we've come accustomed to here. And it's a full reverse as well. So if you win the sprint, you go into the back currently, and you go into a back of a grid of 18 cars currently on track. Now, we've got here with the current win situation, Dan Mould has taken 2 wins this season. Scott McFall has also got 2. Callum Reed-Garton's got 1. Chris Byram's got 1. Now, Chris's win with me, Michael, was extremely popular. He was so close last season to taking a victory. And I just literally, in the first race, he went and took a victory in the feature. And it was absolutely amazing. So, Chris Byram, much love to you, brother, as always. And it was incredible. He even jumped in the booth and was like, that one was for you. And I was like, yes. You know, it makes me happy when somebody says, like, that race was for you. And I'm just like, yes, because he was so close last season. To see him take a win in the first race, the first feature race of the year, was absolutely epic. So I think tonight, you know, I'm going to pray Chris is going to have a good old run tonight, and maybe you can get the second victory this evening. Good evening, Phil. Welcome in. Thank you so much again for joining us at Brands Hatch. And what an absolutely barnstorming race this is going to be. Currently on the times, on the doors, you can see him. Dan Mould is topping the times on a 1:31.720. Mark Draper's behind him on a 1:32.061. So it's going to be incredibly close if these times can stay that. But if you're looking at the Grand Prix circuit, Michael, where are we looking at major overtakes? Because these cars are tough to overtake. They're big, they're bulky, they're not very aerodynamic. You know, they are front-wheel drive. There's not a lot of aero suction going on. So where do we think we're going to see most of the overtakes tonight?
Well, I think the best place that lends to overtaking is generally, coming out of a turn, going to like a long straight, and that's going to be the Pilgrim drop down into the Hawthorne. So I think Hawthorne's is probably going to be the most likely that we'll see some overtaking. It's kind of a weird turn. It seems very straightforward when you look at it on a flat map, but then when you go out and drive it, it's kind of got its own little, concave to it almost, just like every other turn on this corner. Now, yeah, we see there getting a little sideways. Adam Delmont going into that first turn. That's Paddock Hill. Paddock Hill is also going to be a very exciting place, not necessarily for overtakes, but just in general. Well, on lap 1, it's definitely going to be lots of overtakes there on lap 1, but that's just a very complicated turn in itself. And I'm going to be saying that a lot. I'm going to be describing these turns all a lot because they're all so unique, but they all have their own little quirks. They're all, for the most part, off camber. There's so many, blind turns. You're coming up a hill, and all of a sudden you're just around a corner, and you have to carry your speed, carry your momentum. You think about going through a roller coaster ride with your eyes closed, and all of a sudden you're going down a hill and your stomach just drops. That's how I imagine this is going to feel for all of these drivers, and that was close. I didn't see what car that was, but getting to the side there, that was extremely close there.
Yeah, I think
we're going to see quite a bit of that.
Yeah, we definitely are. That's one of the turns, the top of Dingle Dell. There's not a lot of vision going in there. It's a point and run. Milky 1616, let's go, Team Blade. Absolutely tonight. Dominic Herbert gutted to be missing the race tonight. Oh, Dom, what's happened to you, young man? I hope you're okay, though, buddy, overall. But I think you're in for an absolutely epic night of action, I think, from tonight. Now, Dingle Dell. Now, generally, it's a corner I enjoy, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to enjoy watching it in these, because they run wide here, they drop down, and then they've got to follow that dark line on the track, and they've got to point it and hope for the best that nothing's over the top of the corner, haven't they, really?
Yeah, and the road kind of flattens out there, so you lose grip coming over the top of the hill there, and you have nothing, like no way of knowing if there's a car, sideways up there. You got to stay basically full bore out there in these touring cars to carry the speed, because even though it's an awkward corner, you are able to carry speed through Sheen Corner. So yeah, it's definitely going to be tough, but that's just how this track is. Every single corner just has its own quirk to it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the interesting things, as I say, with Brands. Turn 1 on lap 1 is going to be absolutely chaotic if they all try and go through muscle their way through, because obviously they've only got 13 laps to do the business in the first sprint race. And if they all rush down through turn 1 at Paddock Hill, coming to Druids, we're probably going to have half the field left, because it only takes one to spin the car around, and literally everybody else is just bang, 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 bang. And then we've got no cars left on track. So they've got to be a little bit more sensible going around that turn 1, haven't they?
Yeah, they definitely have to be very careful coming around, especially on that first lap in the sprint race, because everybody's going to be trying to move up as quickly as they can. It's not a super long race, 13 laps. It's a decent amount of laps there, but not very long. So you got to make your moves as quickly as you possibly can here. That being said, we don't want to see anybody getting loose in that turn and just taking out half the field. It's going to be quite a balancing act there on the tightrope coming through that first turn on lap one.
Absolutely. Mark Draper currently in second place on a 1:32.06. Now, Mark did have the fastest lap in the feature race at Donington Park. So Mark is naturally quick here. So this should be a really good one from Mark tonight as well, because he did have the fastest lap. Now, we've had Olivier Boltonek's got 3 fastest laps over the season. Callum Regart's got 1, Dan Mould's got 1, and obviously Mark Draper's got 1 as well. So Callum Regart here is really going to be looking at trying to do the business. He was so quick in Donington. It was scary how good Callum Reid was in the feature race. You know, there was absolutely epic battles going on all the way through in that race. And if you haven't watched it back, I definitely highly recommend it, because you will not be disappointed at what that race brought, because it was just absolutely unbelievable action. So please go and check that out. The videos are on the YouTube channel, so you can go and have another. But I think from CRG's point of view, he's got to really kind of do his best this week. You know, second race out, naturally quick. It's going to be tough, I think, for anybody to really stop Callum Regart. And I think Dan Mould and Mark Draper will be probably his biggest competition. Scott McFall down in 4th, maybe. But overall, this series is so tough within the first 10 places. It could go to literally anybody. And I think when you've got a series as close as that, Michael, you're going to be in for some great racing.
Yeah, definitely going to be in for some great racing, especially someplace here with this type of car. I'm just looking at the times right now. We got Dan Mould with a 1:31.72. Now that is about 3/10 faster than Mark Draper, who's sitting at a 1:32.06. Now, if you go back any further than that, though, everybody was pretty much within about 6 or 7 tenths, all the way back to I think it was about 6th or 7th. As we see here, we're coming into qualifying now, so this is really gonna, kind of, give us our real indicator here of how strong everybody's gonna be here. So let's go ahead and follow along here and see how this qualifying goes.
Yeah, we've got Dan Mould out on the track first. So this should be an interesting one. It is open qualifying, guys, as you can see. So all the cars will be on track. So it's trying to find a good space of where they can go out, as we already see there somebody behind who's that's Mark Draper, so that would be Lewis Archer, I believe. Yeah, Lewis running a little bit wide there. He has said he hasn't done much practice, so he's not expecting to be up and around on the pace, so we'll just see what he's able to do and see how he gets on. But I think tonight it's going to be rather exciting. So
I feel like Brands Hatch is one of those tracks that just kind of starts coming to you the more like further into your stint you get. It just kind of always felt that way for me on cold tires. It's always tough to get around here, but once you start rubbering in the track and start getting into like a comfort zone, and it just kind of just comes to you. So hopefully that'll, go his way. But that's how I've always felt about this track, is just the more time on track that I get in a race or in qualifying and in practice, it just comes to me a little cleaner than some of the other tracks do. A little quicker, I would say.
yeah, I think that's got to be important as well. You know, they've got to kind of give it time here tonight, because if they don't, it's going to be a tough one for them. I think this race, this car setup, this whole process of driving these touring cars. Now, I don't know if you've ever been out in one of these. They are not the most easiest car to drive. And I love touring cars, but I wouldn't necessarily come out in this car unless I knew I could do it. You know what I mean? And I think you need to give these cars full amount of practice, because if you don't, you're going to really struggle. And I think these guys have really got to give it the amount of time that these cars deserve, I think, Michael, and that's what we're going to be looking for.
Yeah, these cars are definitely a challenge all unto themselves. You look at them and you think, front wheel drive, a Honda Civic, a Hyundai Veloster, the Audi, the RS3, and then we got what's the other Hyundai? Is it the Elantra? Yeah, you look at these cars and you think, front wheel drive, they're not going to be super fast, they're not going to be super challenging, yeah, whatever. And then you get into one and you realize how tough it really is to get around a track in one of these things. You really have to like just kind of rewire your brain coming from like if you're coming from something with open wheel or even a real wheel drive sports car, GTs, it's just a completely different type of driving, a completely different thought process.
Mm.
So it definitely, like you said, it takes some time. You really got to put the practice in to get these cars not only down, but to get comfortable and get that nice flow.
Yeah, I think when you're a kid, my Saturday mornings was, like BTC day, watching the touring cars, and you're seeing them throwing them into the corner, you're seeing them door banging, you're seeing them giving a good old go, and you think, I could do that. And then you realize, actually, you can't. You can't just jump in the Audi and go and start becoming, one of the amazing drivers within the touring car series. It doesn't work like that with these cars. They need full practice, and I think that's the thing I think that's so admirable from these guys is the fact that how good they actually are currently in these cars. We see Cavallio go on the pole on a 1:33.783, absolutely barnstorming a lap from him. Adam Delmont is currently sitting in second place, but they're not just pick them up, drive them. There's no real easy car within this touring car set, is there? The Honda Civic's tricky. The Audi is tricky. The Hyundais, both of them are tricky. You've got to give it time. And I think people don't quite understand that within this touring car series.
Yeah, and I'll explain one thing here real quick. The Audi for me was the first touring car that I tried just because, I've kind of always just liked Audis. It just seemed like, what am I going to pick? A Hyundai, a Honda, or an Audi? For me personally, I'm going to go with the Audi. And then learning that the Audi was front-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive just kind of blew my mind a little bit, though. It just didn't handle the way I was expecting it to because I was coming in, completely cold, not understanding how these cars drive. And you think, it's going to be so easy. But like you said, you can't just go out there and just throw it around the corner like you see on TV, like you see these guys here. They really are a challenge all into themselves. And, just that experience, that first time stepping into an Audi, just throwing it around and just looking like an idiot doing it, like it was definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
So kudos to these guys, man.
Yeah, man. Some of these drivers, are TCA driven, and I think that's going to be the exciting thing. As we see Elliot Hankin get a time on the board, he goes up into ninth. Scott McFall, we're going to follow him to the end of the race. Lap he's on at the moment. He's got 2 greens and a purple, 3 greens and a purple and a yellow. So hopefully he'll be able to move up the timing tower as well. Currently sitting in third on a 1:33.406. These drivers are touring car driven, and I think that's what makes this amazing is the fact that these guys do love what they do. They do give it their full beans. They give it their full effort. They give it as much as they can in this car, but try and keep it as clean as possible. And I think that's admirable in its own right. We don't hear much back from the stewards. We don't hear much back from the drivers. They manage to sort it out between themselves. There's not a lot backwards and forwards. And I think for a touring car league that lends itself to full touring car rules, it's great to see because you wouldn't see that in other series. You know what I mean? And I think that's an admirable fact that these guys at the United Touring Car Championship have built with them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this car really lends to door-to-door action and not having to, be as concerned with your incident count really helps, kind of just dig down and really get into the racing here. Like, that when you told me that I'm new to this series, and when you told me that was the first thing I thought of. It's like, I'm worried when I go out into an open lobby, in the touring cars, because the mindset is it is door-to-door action. You can bang around, but then you got to start worrying about your incident count. Mm-hmm. With these guys, they don't have to worry about that, so they can just go out there and just throw it around and really get some action in there. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, they definitely don't take it easy. Anybody in chat who's watched this series and or take part in this season will know that they definitely do throw these cars around a bit and have been into a few contacts as well. But as we see Scott McFall going on to pole position on a 1:32.578. Mark Draper down in second now. Dan Mould in third. Mikael Lees in fourth. Nilton Carvalho fifth. Adam McNally in sixth. Callum Regarton in seventh. Lewis Archer eighth. Chris Byron ninth. And Derek Crowther is in 10th. We've got quite a good split of cars there, I think, as well, Michael. I think we haven't had a dominating car manufacturer, you know, Audi, Hyundai, Honda, they're all in the top 10. So it's good to see that we've got multiple manufacturers working here tonight.
No, you always love to see that. I do wish we could tell the difference between which Hyundais are up there, because that's actually something that's very interesting to me, is you have the same manufacturer, two different cars. I know the Veloster is a little bit heavier than the I don't know why I keep spacing on the Elantra.
Yeah.
Elantra. There we go. I don't know why I keep spacing on the Elantra, but I know the Veloster is a little bit heavier than the Elantra, so I would like to see the difference between the two. That's really interesting to me. But like you said, you got a bunch of Hondas up there. A lot of people really like the Hondas. From what I've heard, it's actually a really fun car to drive. I don't have very much experience in the Honda, but I've heard it's a very fun car to drive. So that's really nice to see, you know, having that split up in the top, you know, 6 or 7 cars there, just, you know, having everybody kind of represented there.
Yeah, well, I can give you a rough shout. Callum Regarton is in the Elantra, and his teammate, Dan Mould, behind him is in the Veloster. So that's the Veloster with a back end chopped off. Yeah. And Callum Regarton, who's now in pole on a 1:32.11. That's what the Elantra looks like. It's a longer with a boot, basically. That would be...
One's more of a hatch and one's more of a sedan.
Yeah, so basically, the Veloster looks like the Honda Civic. The Elantra looks like the car completely on his own. So that's the way you can tell them apart. CRG, Callum Regarton now in first place. Currently got 2 purples on the board as well. He's now up in the pace with 5:17 left of qualifying here tonight. Let's see what they can do. Callum Regarton, obviously from the Blade Designs team, has joined Dan Mould this season, so this should be fun. Hopefully he'll be able to take part in the majority of what's left of the season. Now, talking about the season, we do go into next week, guys. We go to Monza on the 19th of 11th. We go to Monza that's for round 9 and 10. Then we're going to the North Circuit at the Red Bull Ring on the 3rd of December. On the 17th of December, on the 10th of December, we go to Phillip Island, which is round 13 and 14. And then round 15 and 16, we round out the season at Oran Park. So that's going to be extra exciting there as well. What we'll do briefly as well, towards the end of quali, we will bring you up the current standings. I can tell you now, we will bring them up for you so you can have a look at currently where everybody is with 4 minutes 16 left of qualifying. Mark Draper is down in 3rd. Oh, car off on the right hand side. I think that was car number 70, car number 40. Jakey there is off the track. So in the Audi, new to the series this evening. So welcome into you, sir.
You're going to see quite a few off tracks tonight, that's for sure. Especially here at Turn 1, Paddock Hill. You're going to see so many cars kind of losing it through there. It's so easy. You know, you lose, you come up over that hill. It's kind of a blind hill. Everybody knows what's coming, but it's still, you have to really be careful with picking your apex. Because it is a blind turn. So then you got a car shooting off to the inside there. So it's either you kind of either nail it, you go out into the sand, or something weird like that happens where you just kind of all of a sudden get a bunch of grip and it just shoots you to the inside wall.
Yeah, that was Callum Regarton, who just set pole up on a 1:31.843. Then goes off at Paddock Hill, which is what we said could be one of the issues there. Nobody's really improving currently at the moment. Lewis Archer here has got a green sector 4 in the Honda. Let's see what he can do in sector 5 and 6. Luke Mitchell as well. Currently green across the board. Mr. Archer's yellow in the sector 5. Pick up on Luke Mitchell is not actually that too far behind him. Is there an improvement from Mr. Archer? The 1:33.557. Nothing at the moment. Luke Mitchell Let's see what
Maybe
Luke
slow
can
down a
do.
little bit through the second half here. Those
Yeah.
first 3 sectors were definitely fast, but the second or the fourth and fifth, and we'll see how about the sixth here. Green in the sixth. All right, that's going to be a 135.91 for Luke there. So
Oh,
unable
came
to
out.
really. Ooh.
Nearly didn't even, he managed just about keep it out of the barrier.
You know, I was listening to Jimi Hendrix the other day, and I forgot how much I love the song "Castles Made of Sand."
You and your Jimi Hendrix.
I love Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, it's quality.
He's a beast.
Danny Bleak, Monza, I am back, says Danny. So it'd be good to have you on track there, buddy. I remember watching an interview with Jimi Hendrix, and the guy doing the interview asked him if he was rich. Not once did Jimmy disclose if he was rich. He turned it into, what makes you rich? If you're happy, then I'm rich. That was it. That was literally the interview. So fair play to Jimi Hendrix there. Absolutely amazing. Right, we have no real improvements currently on the board. We got 1:12 left. So we'll see how this one pans out for the last minute there with Chris Byram. Currently on board with Chris. See how he gets on. Would you run a touring car at Brands Hatch, Michael?
I think I'd give it a go. I think that'd be pretty fun. I don't think I'd be very fast. I'd probably be in the 140s if these guys are in the 132s. Yeah, I'd probably be in the 140s. But yeah, no, I would definitely give it a go here. But it's just a track that I really love the flow of. So I think I kind of reach Brands Hatch whenever it kind of crosses the opportunity. It's just one of those tracks that it just like, to me, it's just got a nice flow to it. Even though everything's off camber and over a blind hill, it's still, once you get the rhythm, it's a very comfortable track to drive, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will have a quick look at the standings, guys, as coming to the end of qualifying. No current real improvements now in the championship. Olivier Boltneck is leading the way on 110. Scott McFall is currently in second place. Dan Mould third. Stuart Reynolds fourth. Chris Byron fifth. Nilton Carvalho sixth. Lewis Archer seventh. Mark Draper eighth. Dominic Herbert ninth. And Callum Regarten is your top 10. Now in the Constructors' Championship, we've got Sim District Vibe Esports on 208, Blade Designs on 110, Vibe Sim District Esports on 109, CUDAWorks 104, Blade Deliveries 78, GTR on 50, Site on 47, CUDA Evo 32, CUDA Am on 29, and rounding out your top 10 is 5-Star Motorsport. So let's have a quick look at the grid now as these guys take to the grid. Callum Regarten is in first, 131.43. Dan Mould in second. Mark Draper third. Scott McFall fourth. Nilton Carvalho fifth. Mikael Lee sixth. Derek Crowther seventh. Chris Byram eighth. Adam Delmont ninth. Laura Ubersack is in 10th. Adam McAnally 11th. Lewis Archer down in 12th place. Beyond that, we've got Ivan Balkup 13th, Sean Roberts 14th, Elliot Hankin 15th, Daniel Thomas 16th, Jake in 17th, Luke Mitchell 18th, and Stuart Gibbons down in 19th place. Well, that itself is going to be terribly exciting, you know, to see how these guys get on here in this sprint race. 13 laps. Some drivers out of position. Chris Byram, Lewis Archer, Ivan Balkamp, Sean Roberts. You know, they're not where we would normally expect them to be. But the front three is kind of a Blade Designs lockout, really, with Callum Regarten, Dan Mould and Mark Draper. So, you know, let's see what these guys can do with the Sim District Vibe esports team behind them. Everybody is on track. The lights are going out now. Here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are green here tonight as these guys go rushing down into turn one. And his CRG Callum Regan out in front currently at the moment. He's taken the whole shot with Dan Mould and Mark Draper from Blade Designs behind him. There's Kuda Works, Evo's all fighting over the back of him at the moment. Further down the order there, and they're having an absolute barnstorming run down here in the middle with Laura Ubasek, Lewis Archer, and Sean Roberts. They're all battling away nicely. There's another Blade Designs. That's Derek Crowther in the mix there, Michael. Currently, everybody stayed on track.
Yeah, everything seems to be going pretty smoothly here. Only a couple people really falling backwards. So, you know, you got, for the most part, a very clean first lap here so far. Good to see that, especially through turn one. Turn one is really when you start seeing all the kind of chaos. As we see a couple cars here going wide, too wide down the straight. And I believe this is probably where we're going to start seeing some of the overtaking here.
Yeah.
And, yep, there's a move right there for Lease.
Oh, he's running Scott McFall on the outside. Down Dingledale we go. Dropping up, down into the ditch. Dingledale corner, blind right-hander. As we said, there you go. Up over they go. And that's Scott McFall down in 2 places into 6th currently at the moment. So Scott has dropped down the order a little bit. Callum Regan has gone on a flyer. Derek Crowther is in the gravel. Derek Crowther is in the gravel. Luke Mitchell, Scott Gibbons are also out as well. But here is the Scott McFall, Mikael Liesbau as these guys go running down into turn one.
Yeah, Scott McFall really on the back bumper there, trying to make a move on the outside. This is going to be tough to hold it around the outside here. See if he's trying an over-under instead, because you can't really go too wide there in that first turn. It looks like he's going to lose a little bit of momentum there. Now he's got a Honda Civic right behind him. The Honda Civic of Adam Delmont trying to open a door here through the hairpin of Druids and coming down here into Graham Hill. It looks like trying to take that high line definitely did not work out there for Scott McFall.
No, but he's got the inside for Surtees. Oh, Mikael Lies. Can he hold it? Very well held. Good job for you. Unfortunately, you lost that position to Scott McFall, but Adam Delmont is flying, climbing all over the back currently at the moment. Where's Delmont going to go? As these guys are running down now through Pilgrim's Drop, through Hawthorne, up this little short straight, and then we go into Westfield. Adam Delmont on the outside. Not an ideal place to try and make these moves, though, here, Michael, is it really?
No, it really isn't, mostly because of the blind turns, but it looks like he's going to be looking on the inside here. He's going to try it, and it looks like he's got the opportunity done here, but that was definitely a dangerous send as he gets the lights flashing at him from behind there. And he gives the position back up, so yeah, he definitely knew that wasn't exactly the right place to make that move there. That was tough, and luckily they both made it through there unharmed.
Yeah, absolutely. Just bear with me. I am trying to look. Hopefully the sounds have come back on now. Not entirely sure why they weren't on in the first place. But Scott McFall now is in 5th place currently at the moment. The guys out front have kind of got the gaps open up. Callum Regan has got 1.5 seconds to Dan Mould. He's got another second to Mark Draper, who's got about 1.75. And then we got Scott McFall and Adam Delmont. They are your closest battles on track at the moment as these guys go rushing round Graham Hill down on this run down into Surtees. Now, what are we expecting here? Because clearly Delmont looks quick, right? He's just got to kind of hold it and try and stay with McFall down this long drop down through Pilgrims.
Yeah, he's had the opportunity a couple times. He's got the speed, but I'm just not sure he's able to really make it work for him so far. He's had to back out. We saw him make the move there earlier through Sheen Curve, but he had to back out of that. That was just a little too brave there. And it looks like this Audi here, Scott McFall, it really has the grunt to kind of hold him at bay down that long straight. And then it isn't until we get to the twisty bits that the Honda of Adam Delmont really seems to be coming on here. So it's going to be a bit of a battle throughout this race here to see what Adam can do. We know he's got some pace, but it looks like the Audi's just got a little bit more grunt down the straight.
Well, here we go. Jump on the nose with Adam Delmont currently up 3 positions. Can he hold on to McFall? We know McFall's quick. Exceedingly quick at times, but Reed is Regan on a 132.605. This is where he kind of loses it, doesn't he, really?
Yeah, no, he really kind of does lose it. It's more of the straights that Honda kind of falls off a little bit. But then, you know, coming into the hairpin here of Druids, he starts to carry a little bit more speed through the corners. And then coming down here, we'll see if he's able to do anything with Graham Hill there. This has always been a corner that gives me a lot of issues. Whenever I try to drive Brands Hat, that's usually the first place that I go off is just coming out of the exit there. I kind of always just seem to carry a little bit too much momentum. So that's always been a tough corner for me. I do want to point out here in the YouTube chat, we got SRL TV. Come on, Team Blade. Blade Designs, 1, 2, 3 right now, absolutely dominating up front.
Yeah, Chris Byram is under attack here as well. Chris is trying to chase down Laura Ubasek. He's on the mission. Cuda Am and Cuda Works. Let's see how this pans out with Ivan Bokamp from Cuda Evo in front of that. Adam McNally is another one. He's making moves on Jakey here with Sean Roberts behind him. What is he going to be able to do currently? We're going to try and see how this one pans out. But McFall's open at about 8 temps currently. Oh, McNally there. Big move. Has he got the exit out? Can he now get this run down into Clark Corner? He's trying to run around the outside, Michael, and I think that's dangerous in his own right.
Yeah, Clark Corner, you have a little bit more room as he gets pushed way outside. He's going to try to come back down, but that is just going to open the door there for Roberts. Right behind them, but that was a dangerous move there. You have a little bit more opportunity to hold it on the outside of Clark just because the way that the front straight, the pit straight, kind of like winds out. You know, it kind of widens and comes to the right, so you have a little bit more room on the outside than, say, you know, Paddock Hill.
Yeah.
But that was still, you know, a large defensive move there by McNally.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a little sketchy.
The problem is with that car, though, is that car naturally drifts on that last corner. You know, to take an outside line, you really need the guy on the inside to slow down and really tighten it up, because these cars do drift. And we can see Byron now trying to make the move on the inside of Ubasek coming down now. Here we go into Hawthorne. Byron's on the inside, Ubasek's on the outside. That's the line you need to take almost around the last corner, isn't it? As these guys are going too wide now. Ubasek jumps in behind him.
Having that inside line through Westfield is a little dangerous there. He's able to get out to the outside there and make it work, but good pass through Hawthorne's, but carrying that inside line on the Minter Straight there, not exactly the best place that you want to be. He was able to make it work for him, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Lap 6 of 13. Here is your battle with McNally, Jakey, Sean Roberts. Mikael Lees is now on the back of it as well.
Yep, great recovery drive here so far from Mikael Lees. Dropped back to 10 spots, now back up 8 spots in 14th.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is the gainers there on the left-hand side. You can see the top 3 have not moved. Reed Garten, Mould, and Draper. Oh, there's a big slide. Can Jakey hold it? He held it. Sean Roberts didn't hold it. Oh, McNally there comes to contact with Sean Roberts. He's in the gravel. Oh. Man, that was tough, wasn't it? That looked absolutely huge, and this is where it kind of all started. Not this one. Where am I going? I want this one.
We see the inside car there get a little loose. Jakey GB goes to the outside.
Oh, netcode.
Roberts just gets spun. Yeah.
Netcode there as well, I think, played a part with Adam McNally. Netcode was Sean Roberts, wasn't it? The cars kind of lurched together and then joined up, and unfortunately that's put them into the pits. But here is the man himself currently leading the way, Callum Regarten, out in front from Blade Designs there as well, leading us off. Dan Mould in second, Mark Draper in third, and then we got the Vibe boys of Nilton Carvalho and Scott McFall. No Olivier Boltonek here tonight. So that's going to be a tough one for him as well, leading the championship. Adam Dalmont from Excite behind him, Lewis Archer, Ivan Baukamp, then Chris Byram, Laura Ubasek as well. Mikael Lees, you can see the cars are a little bit more spread out, apart from Nilton Carvalho being chased down by Scott McFall there. And little over just 6 laps remaining here, Michael. You know, Sean Roberts in the pits, Daniel Thomas, Derek Crowther, Luke Mitchell, Scott Gibbons, Stuart Gibbons, sorry. So we got them in the pits, right? That's fair enough. Now, some of it looks like off tracks going in, and like as we saw with Sean Roberts there, a massive dose of net code. But the rest of everybody else has managed to keep it clean so far. I think that's the thing, isn't it? We've got 14 runners still on track. We've got McFall pushing Cavallio, so the racing's still there from these guys. It's just a shame that we've lost the ones we have already.
Yeah, it seems like we've had, for the most part, a pretty clean race here. And
Michael,
that's a great move there.
McFall's gone up the inside. That was round Westfield. Brave move from Scott McFall.
Yeah, that was definitely a great move there. Perfect opportunity, perfect timing. Just made it work for him. Scott McFall up into 4th place here. Not really surprised there. That was a solid pass. Perfect time. I do want to point out Mikkel Lees was the big gainer out of that big incident just moments ago. Now up into 11th place, wasn't 14th right before that all happened. So Mikkel Lees starting to really work their way back up through the field. Lewis Archer and Ivan Beaucamp both up 5 positions in 7th and 8th place. So those poor starts that they had there, poor qualifying efforts, definitely making up for them here in the sprint race.
Absolutely as well. I know Lewis was a bit worried about this circuit. Hadn't had much time for practice between running the league and obviously IRL, and life generally has been a bit manic for Mr. Archer lately as well, and he's done a stellar job with putting this season together, and him and Chris have worked really hard, and this is what we've got at the moment, quality racing. And he did say he would struggle, but I think for the climb that he's gone up 5 from 12th to 7th, it's just testament to how good he is in the car in general, isn't he, really?
Yeah, he seems like he's very comfortable with that car. And like I was saying earlier, this is a track that really starts to come to you the further on your stint you go, especially as it gets rubbered in. It just becomes, you get in that flow and it just becomes a little more natural. He is under a little bit of pressure here by Ivan, but that being said, he looks very comfortable, and I think this has been a great first race here. Especially since he hasn't gotten the practice in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see, because obviously he will move positions for the feature, what he will be able to do there. And I think that's going to be an exciting one to watch Lewis Archer and see whether or not he can improve as the time goes on and as the race runs. We've still got 4 laps, and we've got Reed Garton doing the fastest lap of the race currently as well, 1:32.112. Well, Reed Garton's kind of flying at the moment, but I kind of expected that and mentioned that at the beginning. I think he was naturally quick, and I think anybody's going to be tough to try and get past him.
Yeah, his fastest lap is a 1:32.11, which he had just done. That is half a second faster than Dan Mold, who's got a 1:32.57. So yeah, he's definitely got the pace to just be absolutely running away with this right now. Great pickup for that team to bring him in here. And he's obviously very comfortable with the car and getting ready to really show himself, make a name for himself here at the end of the season, but really come in end strong and start next season strong as well.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at here, I think, as well with Callum Reed-Garton. This is not going to do his championship any harm whatsoever. Lewis Archer now here with Ivan Beaucamp in front of him. Let's see how this one pans out. I think this is going to be a very exciting race here. So let's see with Ivan Beaucamp, Lewis Archer and Chris Byron what they can do. Cuda works. Cuda Evo. Oh, Beaucamp's off. Beaucamp's off. Here comes Archer. Regard again, another fast lap, 1:32.104 as we're on the literally 3 laps remaining, Michael. Chris Byram's just cleared Ivan Beaucamp as well. He's now running Lewis Archer around the outside. Oh, the Cuda boys giving us a battle here.
Yeah, just taking advantage of the inside there. He had plenty of grip and was just able to hold it. That was a very, very, very brave move there, but able to hold it on the inside. Gonna take care of that. That's gonna move him up into 7th place. Ivan Beaucamp into 8th place now, and it looks Archer's trying to make the move, but he had to back out of that into the hairpin.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to really, if he carried on following that through, his nose would have gone, and I think that's the problem there for Lewis Archer. You can't push the situation when the door's closing, because there's only one thing that will happen there as well, and that will be your noses be gone, and you don't really want that either this evening. So Lewis Archer here, this is one of your closest battles on track. The other is Adam McNally and Jakey here. These guys are literally 0.4 second back. They're the same as the battle in front at the moment as well. So let's see what McNally can do from the Excite team here as he's coming down Pilgrims.
We've seen that Audi very strong down the straights there, but the Honda Civic very strong in the corners through the twisty bits. So we'll see how it goes through here. It looks like he's starting to really gain some momentum here, and he might be able to make a pass.
Yeah, it's heading down through Dingledale drop now, up into the Dingledale corner. Blind right-hander up over the hill we go. Oh, McNally, get it on the track. You're not going to stop it. Oh. And that put the end to that, didn't it, really? As soon as you run wide in that corner, you're in trouble.
Yeah, no, you put a tire out on the outside, you have to back off completely. You have to recenter yourself. You know, coming into Sterling's, he kind of regroup. So he's definitely lost quite a bit of momentum. But, you know, he's still within a second. He might be able to get back. We got 2 more laps to go as we see Michael Leese on the inside here. Trying to take it through the inside. He's able to get it through the hairpin. Is he able to hold on to it, though?
Uberset come in. Oh. Tightened up at Graham Hill, and I thought that was going to be a nose to rear there from Ubersek. These guys are go racing round now. Chris Byram, Ivan Balkamp. Let's see what these guys can do. This is a view from Balkamp's car on the inside. That's Byram in front of us as we're coming around Hawthorne here, Michael, and then through Westfield and into that drop, aren't we?
Yeah, this is definitely the most technical part of the track, just because you lose so much grip here. You just fall off a hill, literally fall off a hill. When you come up the hill, you grab your grip back, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden you through a blind corner, and it just flattens out. It's so easy to dip a tire on the outside there. Then you hard on the brakes to get through here into Sterling's, and then you're just flat out. And then it's just another off-camber turn here. You go down into a little dip into Clark here. Clark, it starts on camber, then it drops off camber, then it's back on camber, then it's on camber throughout here, and it just kind of drops off, and it's just it's not just elevation change that's the issue with this track. That's the challenge. It's the elevation change with the off camber, with the on camber changing in the middle of the turns, and then you throw in the blind turn, like coming up into the hairpin here. You have to know where your braking point is, because you can't see the hairpin until you're in the hairpin. Yeah,
I think that's one of the tough bits with this circuit. It's the blind situation. I think that's the challenge, isn't it? Really, the blind curves and stuff like that. SRL, I can't believe there's so many Hondas. I find it to be the worst of all the cars. Well, Adam Delbont, Chris Byram, Ivan Balkamp, Lewis Archer, Laura Ubersek, and Anna McNally, and everybody beyond that. Elliot Hankins, Sean Roberts, Daniel Thomas, Luke Mitchell, and Scott Gibbons seem to like it. So I'm not entirely sure if we'll take your view there, SR, because these guys seem to give it a good old go and seem to like the car itself. So there you go. Final lap of the race for Callum Reed-Garton. There is Callum Reed-Garton now. Final lap of the race here tonight. Sure why all the cars...
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but absolute dominance here in the sprint race by Callum Reed-Garton. I'd also like to ask the chat out there, especially you, SRL TV, what, if not the Honda, what car would you prefer? You got 4 choices here, obviously the 2 Hyundai, the Elantra, and the Veloster. I finally didn't forget the Elantra that time. And then you got the Audi RS3, and then the Honda Civic. Which of those 4 cars, which would you pick? I think for me, my first choice was the Audi, and it was a bit of a head scratcher from what I was expecting it to be. So that was my first choice. I'm not sure what I would pick right now, though.
No, I like the look of the Civic, right? When I was growing up, a Civic was the car that I probably wanted to own as a kid, along with a Peugeot 205 GTI, mind you. But, you know, the Civic would have been the car I would have chose. But I've heard it's a bit up and down on the handful situation. So, you know, I'm not entirely sure whether or not the Civic would be best. But we're going to pick up our leader, Callum Regarton, is going to go across the line in the sprint race. We'll start the feature at the back. And Callum Regarton there takes the victory. Take a bow, young man. From Blade Designs, Dan Mould in second. Mark Draper in third there. He takes the third place. Scott McFall comes across the line in fourth. Nel Carvalho in fifth. Adam Delmont in sixth. And then Chris Byram there coming across the line in seventh. Private Bowcat behind him. Out Lewis Archer has got Miguel Lees for company as these guys come across the line. Laura Ubasek comes across the line as well. Adam McNally. And then your final runner is Jakey there. So Callum Regarton, Dan Mould. And then in third place is Mark Draper. So fair play to them ones as we go into a little bit of a warm-up. Well, your answers in chat. What would you take? The Hyundai Veloster has better turning, but Elantra takes the curbs like a champ. Go Team Blade Designs. Yep, says Craig Waters. So there we go. We will bring you up the results now. This is the results of the first sprint race here this evening. So Callum Regarton is in first place, Dan Mould in second, Mark Draper third, Scott McFall in fourth, Little Cavalier fifth, Adam Dalmont sixth, Chris Byram seventh, Ivan Balkamp eighth, Lewis Archer ninth, Mikael Lees 10th, Laura Ubasek 11th, Adam McNally 12th, Jakey GB down in 13th, Elliot Hankin 14th, Sean Roberts 15th, Daniel Thomas 16th, Derek Crowther in 17th place. And then behind that, we've got Luke Mitchell down 13 there as well, unfortunately for him. But was involved in a bit of an incident at the beginning, and then that chopped him down the field. So what would you choose, Michael?
You know, he's saying that the Veloster's got quite a bit of a better turn-in, and the Elantra takes the curbs like a tramp. Well, the one thing about this track is there are curves, but not anything you really need to worry about. So I would probably, if I had to choose, I guess I would give the Veloster an opportunity, a run here for its money, just to give it a go. I think I'm going to stay away from the Honda just because we've seen the Honda doesn't have quite the grunt down the straight. The Audi, like I said, I just, for me, I like the Audi. It's kind of a mind scratcher for me, just like because I just can't get over the fact that it's not all-wheel drive for whatever reason. So I guess I would have to go with the Veloster, being that it has great turn-in according to SRL TV. So there you go. I'd go with the Veloster.
Okay. Fair play.
What about you?
I'd love to go with the Civic, but I've heard it's a bit of a pain to try and drive.
Yeah.
So maybe the Elantra might be a little bit heavier for me. But so maybe the Elantra, I think I'd like to go with.
All about the family sedan. I like it.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, that was.
I've got, you know, I've got kids, so I've got to put them in the back of the car somehow.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. I've just got the wife and the dog to worry about. So.
Yeah,
I don't have those parental issues.
Well, that's why you pick the Veloster, haven't you? Because you know you don't need much room. Where me, I've got to try and get the 5 seats in. You know what I mean? So they've got to make the use of them. So,
yeah, for me, I'll just take the back seat out and turn it into a giant bed for my dog.
Well, there you go.
Let him in the hatch, make it nice and easy.
Yeah, you don't even need the back seat, where some of us do. You know what I mean? I've got to get got to put the kids somewhere, mate. Apparently, it's illegal if you lock them in the boot.
Yeah, I mean, you could always tie them to the roof. I'm not sure if that's frowned upon or not. You know, here in the States, they just throw them in the bed of the trucks. So I don't know if they do that out in the UK.
No, partly because we don't see many trucks with the back bed's on it. I think, you know. So
that's a shame.
yeah,
That's a shame. Trucks are awesome.
yeah, mate, I'd love to own a truck myself, but you know they're crazy prices over here in the UK. So unfortunately, that's never likely to happen. And as I say, unless I could put the kids somewhere, which would be in the back of the truck, that would be fine. But you know, I think at the end of the day, we're now going to be in a situation where Mould, Reed Garton are now going to be coming through the field because they're going to be at the back, aren't they?
Yeah, all three of those guys that won that race there, they're all extremely fast. Just the Blade Designs team itself, just absolutely dominating that first sprint race. I find it very hard to believe that they're going to be staying in the back of the field for too long, but that's going to bring about quite a bit of interruption and a little bit of, you know, confusion here throughout the field. We see some of these faster cars trying to make their way back up through the field. Some of the cars that didn't do so well in the first race. But that being said, a lot of the cars that are going to be starting up front really didn't run very long in the sprint race. So we don't have quite the perception or quite the idea of what their true race pace is, because a lot of those incidents happened very early on in the race.
I think that's the thing. I think, you know, we're going to see how they get on. They're going to have to go some, I think. I think that the last thing we really need to see is, you know, they've got to get away because Callum Reed-Garton is going to be coming through, and Dan Mould is another one that's going to be there or thereabouts, and is going to be wanting to make moves as well. So they've got a lot to kind of contend with here, I think, with these guys coming through. And it's going to be an interesting one to see how these guys handle that issue. As we've got 4:37 of warm-up. So how many reverse? Full reverse. Full reverse. It's always been a full reverse, and there probably will continue to be a full reverse as well. Always a full reverse.
That's awesome. It's really going to throw a lot of strategy to the wind here. Another thing that you were pointing out, there's a mandatory drive-through, not a pit stop, a drive-through. So when you are sitting in the back of the pack and you know you have pace, I almost wonder as they try drifting around this track here, just kind of showing everything off here. I'm a little jealous. I want to go drifting now.
Yeah, it's Lewis Archer there in the Honda.
It's kind of funny. You don't really see too many people, you know, drifting front-wheel drive cars. You know, you really got to rip that e-brake, but it's not as easy to do as a rear-wheel drive car is. That's for sure.
Yeah, not sure why Archer's just taking it in to the barrier. So there we go.
Yeah, Phil across the pond saying reverse grids seem dangerous to me. Dangerous or exciting? I mean, I'm pretty excited for this. We know we got some fast cars in the back of the pack here.
Yeah, I'll take a reverse grid. I love a good reverse. But yeah, it is a full reverse. So full reverse grid. So you'll be watching them slice through the field with 3:13 left on the clock here tonight. It's definitely going to be interesting. I think with the speed of Callum Reed-Garton, I think we could be in for an absolute cracker. Absolute cracker of a race.
I definitely think that's the case. Now, in reverse grids defenses, if it wasn't for reverse grids, I'd never see the front row. So,
it's true.
I love them. I love them. I need them.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both. That's why I'm in the box, mate. Trust me. I literally managed to get out and drive. And do you know what car I was driving as well?
I know you like the SR8, that's what you like, right? But you've been doing the SR10 for your league.
But we recently finished a series, and let's just say I was driving around 90 laps in an Xfinity Camaro.
Really?
Yeah, that's literally all I've done last week when I did get the brief opportunity to drive, which was basically in the brief hours of the morning because my daughter was sick and she was just chilling out on the sofa and half asleep. Dad had a little bit of a drive and I was doing the Xfinity Camaro.
Apparently NASCAR is really trying to reach out to the European market.
I enjoyed it.
They're trying to follow in the NFL's footsteps. The NFL has a game in American football game in Munich tomorrow. That's the first time, which they say is the first time the NFL's been to Germany. But
wasn't there the NFL Europe? Didn't they have a
There
team in
wasn't an
Germany?
NFL European League. It went down like
Yeah,
a
that's where Kurt Warner came from.
yeah, it went down like a sack of potatoes. It wasn't the most popular thing in the world. But
Yeah, I can't imagine it was.
no, but since they're holding games at Wembley and at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they've become a lot more bigger over here in the UK. So, you know, it is getting there, but I don't think we'll ever have our own series. However, the other week, I was driving down by Bournemouth, and there was an American football game going on. So that was quite interesting, yeah.
That is. It wasn't rugby. It was actually football.
No, it was American football, yeah, full pads, everything. I did check.
That's interesting because the big thing is, you know, in Europe, like here in the United States, the way that, you know, it kind of works its way up from the high school level to the college level to the NFL, where in Europe you don't really have that college level the same way that you do here in the United States as far as sports, academic sports go. So it would have to be some sort of minor league to kind of fill in for an NFL team. You know, it just would be completely different. I know, like, you know, like for football, like European football, soccer. I know you have like the you know, millions and millions of different leagues that feed into each other, and like I have no idea. Whenever I look at it, I'm so confused as an American. But like I know, like this league, you win so many games, and then you move up to this league, and then you move up to this league, and then you fall back if you lose. Like you don't really have that here in the States. So it'd be quite different. I just think, you know, just the mentality of starting something like that in the U.S. or in Europe, I just don't think it's really ever gonna like be a full-on thing. Now with NASCAR, on the other hand, or like IndyCar, you know, motorsports, I find that to be a lot more, you know, opening, especially. Oh, here we go.
Right, the grid is up. Stuart Gibbons will be in pole. Luke Mitchell second. Derek Carver third. Daniel Thomas fourth. Sean Roberts fifth. Elliot Hankin sixth. Jake Key in seventh. Adam McNally in eighth. Laura Ubasek in ninth. Mikael Lees in 10th. Lewis Archer 11th. Ivan Baukamp down in 12th place there. Beyond that, we got Chris Byram in 13th, Adam Dalmont 14th, Neil Carvalho 15th, Scott McFall 16th, Mark Draper 17th, Dan Mould 18th, and Callum Regan down in 19th place. Well,
This is going to be exciting.
yeah, I'm in with you. I think this is just going to be an incredible start here today. So just tune in, be aware, get buckled up. That bank trap in Nottingham you're talking about was Rockingham, and that's actually shut down now, Phil. Rockingham Banked Oval was shut down. So there's nothing left of it apart from grass. But here we go, guys. We are in now for the 17-lap feature. Stuart Gibbons is taking the whole shot currently with Luke Mitchell in second, Derek Carver in third. The action's going to be further back, but we'll let these guys go through turn one. Currently at the moment, Stuart Gibbons, Luke Mitchell. On the inside is Derek Carver. He's gone up into second place. There, and that's one of... Oh, he was...
There is just
carnage.
that was chaotic.
Yeah. Carnage.
That was absolutely chaotic. We'll have to get a replay here in a moment just to see what happened there. It did look like that was, you know, a bit of a spin around, but yeah, that was, yeah.
Yeah, that was tough. Absolutely tough there. We will have another look. That is some... Oh, there's one of the Audis. That's Neil Carvalho going round as well. Chris Byram coming back on track. It's all going off currently at the moment. And out in front is just Stuart Gibbons just running away with it with Sean Roberts tucked up right behind him. He's got Mikael Lees for company and Luke Mitchell. So let's see what these guys can do at the moment here, Michael. But we'll have to try and have a look back at that start. We will do it a little bit later on due to the fact that obviously there's so much going on at the moment. But that wasn't the start we wanted, was it really?
No, absolutely not. That is definitely not the start we wanted. But it's kind of to be expected with the, you know, the grid flip like that. You know, Phil across the pond was literally saying reverse grids seem dangerous as...
No, he's come back on. Luke Mitchell's come back on. He hit the barrier, come back into the middle of the circuit. Oh. Ivan Baukamp, Sean Roberts, Lewis Archer, Scott McFall, they've all got into the pits to take their drive-throughs. Dan Mould is now up fourth. Callum Regan fifth. So that is Callum Reed-Garton is 5th place, Dan Mould in 4th, Elliot Hankin up the road in 3rd. Stuart Gibbons has now lost the position to Mikael Lees. Gibbons was taking an off track and he lost the position to Mikael Lees there. Dan Mould is in the mix at the moment with CRG behind him. So let's see what Callum Reed-Garton and Dan Mould could do with the likes of Elliot Hankin in front of him at the moment.
Yeah, look at Mikael Lees up there, up 9 positions. We're really able to kind of work his way through all that carnage there, but didn't have the best race in the sprint race, didn't have the worst race in the sprint race. You know, he had an incident there, fell back 10 positions, kind of worked his way back up to the midfield. And it's really starting to pay off for him because he started in the midfield, had that big incident, and now he's up in the first place here. Obviously, he still has to take the drive-through penalty, or yeah, his drive-through. But that being said, great start for Mikael Lees here as we see these team blades. They're just ripping through the field here. You know, Dan Mould, Callum Reed-Garton, just absolutely stunning pace here, already up into 4th and 5th place. Yeah, that was helped out by quite a few incidents on the first couple laps here, but still absolutely stellar first couple laps here for those two.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Dan Mould is now in. That's released Callum Reed-Garton. So let's see what he's able to do. Dan Mould there is in the pits. He's driving out as we speak.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Callum come in within the next 2 laps or so. So we see another car getting out into the dirt there.
Jake is off.
Jakey GB coming back on, able to slot himself back in there, but he lost some positions there. Definitely unfortunate, and he has not made his pit stop yet. He still needs to come in for his drive-through. So as we see Callum Reed-Garton coming through up into 4th place, really putting the pressure on Elliott here.
Oh, it's not the way he wants to go there, Michael, is it? Not the way at all.
No.
Completely different way of going there. Don't want to be doing that. Callum Reed-Garton he's not giving Hankin any room at all, is he really? He's forcing him to take lines that he doesn't want to take. That's the thing, isn't he? He's forcing him into these lines that Hankin does not even want to go near. He didn't want to take the 2 wide there. He does not want to go 2 wide here either. But Callum Reed-Garton, we were nearly, we were in the inside there of that Civic. And Reed-Garton still now can't make it past Stuart Gibbons.
He's got Mark Draper closing up on him now. If you're Callum Reed-Garton, you really want to get this lap at the latest because you want to get into that fresh air up ahead. He's got a little bit of distance. That's why he's trying so hard to get this move done right now. He wants to take advantage of that free air so he can get his in-lap in.
There it goes.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get it done there through Druids.
Yeah, absolutely.
That definitely held him out quite a bit there. He lost quite a bit of time behind Elliott there. So that's definitely going to bring in some Dan Mould here a little later on into play here.
Yeah, absolutely as well. SRL TV, tyre cooling, maybe. Luke Mitchell, Ivan Balcam, Adam Delmont are in the pits here and have been for quite a while. So let's see how this one pans out. I think Derek Crowther is out with Adam McNally. But further down, we got the Archer, Roberts, McFall, Mould battle. Roberts there just losing a position to McFall. Further up, obviously, we got Elliot Hankin is trying to keep Mark Draper behind him currently at the moment. So there's 2 little pockets of battles going on at the moment, Michael, and these guys have still got 13 laps remaining. And the guys from 6th upwards haven't had their drive-through yet either.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be very challenging for the rest of this race here. You said 6 up, so we're going to see Draper's coming into the pits right now to serve that drive-through. Yeah,
Draper's in. Archer's now going to come around and claim a couple of spots. Can he get ahead of Mark Draper? That's going to be the question. Draper's there. Archer's done it. Archer has cleared Draper. So that's Archer in 5th place now. He's up 6 places. Callum Reed-Garton up 16. Incredible. McFall's taking the inside of Druid there. There was slight contact. Oh, Michael, that could have been dangerous.
Yeah, that was definitely very close. That contact there, he looked like he was trying to over-under and just wasn't able to get it done. There was a car in his way. Yeah, we see here CRG has not come in for his drive-through, so he's really trying to take advantage of this fresh air right now while he's got the opportunity. I'm kind of surprised that he stuck it out as long as he did. I was thinking that he was going to try to, come in around the same time as his teammate there, Dan Mold. But the strategy that he's got right now, he has some clean air. I don't think if he gets onto the back of Gibbons here, I don't think he's going to try to force it too much. I think he's going to come into the pits. It just, right now you still have to serve that drive-through. Just strategy-wise, I'm a little confused.
Well,
I would be a little bit confused if he's trying to make this getting up into second place.
Look at the perspective. He's doing lap times 2 seconds quicker. Scott Gibbons went and done a round there as well. Manages to get the car into the pits. That's another position for Callum Reed-Garton to gain. Here comes Dan Mould on the arm rushing behind Sean Roberts. These guys are going to take Stuart Gibbons now.
Okay, now Callum Reed-Garton can just do what he wants because he's able to he's got nothing but clean air in front of him.
Look at the lap time.
Yeah.
Look at his
1:31.92.
Yeah.
He's absolutely flying out there. There's no reason at this point for him to come in.
No. I'd look at trying to open up as much of a gap over these guys as I possibly can. Pit lane times between about 18 and 19 seconds. That's obviously not the time that they're going to likely to lose, as we found out between that. He's still got the opportunity to make a difference, I think, Reed-Garton, and I think he's really got the pace here to be moving on to the back at least. The gap's 1.7. Last lap, Reed-Garton was 1 second ahead, faster. So, he's no slouch in that car, is he?
No, absolutely not. He's absolutely flying out there, completely dominated the sprint race, and it looks like right now he's completely dominating this race, all the way up 17 positions from the very back of the field. Yeah, we know there was quite a bit of it, quite a few incidents there on that first lap, that second lap, but at the end of the day, that's just pure speed out of Callum Reed-Garton.
Yeah, absolutely there as well. Dan Mould on the left-hand side, right-hand side of your screen. Archer's on the inside. Mould's going to run him all the way around. This is the battle at the moment. Side by side now, coming down into paddock. Mould on the right, Archer on the left. Down into turn 1 they go. Here we go, dropping around the right-hand side. Oh, they're still too wide. Mould's going to get in front, I think. He's going to get in front. He's got the opportunity.
Druids, though.
Oh.
He's going to have to hold it on the outside. And he's going to have the inside here. He's good to go through Graham Hill.
Nope.
That is job done.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Archer's going to try and take him around the outside this time.
He's got to play a defensive line. That's going to compromise his exit.
The problem is this is happening up front as well. Miguel Lees, Reed-Garton has pulled out another barnstorming lap. Miguel Lees is 136 last time. Reed-Garton on a 132, Michael.
Yeah, Miguel Lees is definitely not putting in the same lap times. Definitely not on the same level as CRG is here, but able to really kind of make that car as wide as possible here. That Hyundai Veloster is really defending well.
The Elantra. The Veloster in front. Sorry, yes.
Yeah. CRG's in the Elantra.
Yeah, right, he's just gone through.
In the Elantra. And he has gone through, yep, just like you said, and he is going to be in clean air. I don't think, there is one lapped car ahead of them. That looks like, is that Laura?
Daniel Thomas.
Is that Daniel Thomas? Oh, yeah, Daniel Thomas there, excuse me. So he's the only car ahead of them. Aside from that, CRG is going to be able to really just open up this gap. You said lose about 18 seconds. It's going to be close here, but I think right now, if he was to come in the next few laps, with the pace that he has, he can actually hold himself out there as long as he really wants at this point.
Yeah, I don't see the need I don't see the need for him to come in. If he can hold the tyres, he's got the fuel, just run with it. Go and get as much gap as you can.
Much tire drag in the sprint
No.
race, so I don't think tire drag's really going to be too much of an issue here.
No, it just needs to go and basically run as long as he can, open up the gap. He's up 18 positions, mind you. He did start at the back. So there we go. Let's try and see.
A day's work.
Yeah. Let's try and have a look at this beginning here. I'm trying to find where it kind of all kicked off. This is the first set of incidents with Derek Crowther.
They're coming in up the hill here. They get about 3 wide. And then he just gets bumped there from behind, and there's no place for anybody to go. Just put up a wall of cars there. The Blade Design cars in the very back of the pack, lucky to get through that unscathed.
Yeah, there's McNally involved as well. Oh, looked a little bit messy. Scott McFall in 3rd place. Now, he was having a battle with Dan Mould. Scott McFall passed Elliot Hankin. So did Lewis Archer. Hankin
Did Elliot come in for his...
No, he went off track. He went off track.
Oh, he went off track.
Yeah, he needs to go in as well, which is going to drop him further down. But he went off track, unfortunately, for Elliot Hankin. So Elliot
right now, the gap between 1st and 2nd is 2 seconds. The gap between 2nd and 3rd is 10 seconds. So right now, if Callum Regarden was to come in, he would slot in someplace between 5th and 6th, I would imagine there.
Yeah, now I've been fooled by that before, right? And the reason I've been fooled by that before is because pit lane time, 18 seconds, 19 seconds. So you instantly think they lose 18 or 19 seconds, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but they are traveling at the pit lane
Exactly.
speed, so I guess it's you're probably closer to, what, 12 to 15 seconds?
Regard again,
So-
131.708. Flying along, Sean Roberts. Yeah, Sean Roberts here with Neil Carvalho behind him. Oh, Elliot again. Stay. Oh. Elliot Hankin not having a good time at the moment for GTR Evolution in that Honda. What can Sean Roberts do? Hankin's back in the pits.
Really starting to heat those tires up. It's become a bit of an issue for him. Unable to really get them cooled off, and just kind of repeating the same mistake over and over and losing the rear end of that car there. You see Roberts under a lot of pressure here by Carvalho.
Yeah, Carvalho absolutely is going to look up the inside now of Surtees. They're going to be coming out side by side in front of us right at this moment in time. How is this all going to pan out? As they're dropping down through Pilgrims now. Carvalho on the right, Roberts on the left. Carvalho in the Audi, Roberts in the Honda. Carvalho got it, then Roberts got it. Now Roberts backs off, and Carvalho does take the position away at the moment. The problem for Roberts now, Michael, is he's not got it easy because he's got Mark Draper climbing behind him.
Yeah, he's got Mark Draper right behind him, but just there was a perfect example of how much grunt that Audi has down the straight, just able to go from side to side to clearly ahead in the coming into the corner to the point where he had to back out there. Draper is going to be able to really peek his nose down here into Sterling's. He's got the side by side. He's going to have the outside into Clark. Is he going to be able to make it stick though? We've seen that move happen once or twice. He backs out.
Yeah, for how long? How long is Draper going to back out for? That's going to be the question. I don't think it's going to be very long before Mark Draper has another go.
Well, if he has a good run here through turn 1, he's going to have an opportunity to make the move into Druids.
He's got to take the inside.
I don't think he's going to... Oh, he is going to get there. He's going to get it into Druids, but he's going to be on the outside coming in the Grand Hill.
It's clear. Sean Roberts did not really fight that as much as what, I think Sean Roberts may have wanted to do, but Crowther is clear now of Sean Roberts. Mark Draper is clear, sorry, and Draper now can push on to try and catching up to the guys in front. There is some gaps starting appearing on the timing tower. As you can see on the left-hand side, there's some big gaps opening up currently at the moment. So we got Mark Draper and Sean Roberts. Sean Roberts now can push on to try and catching up to the guys in front. There is some gaps starting appearing on the timing tower. As you can see on the left-hand side, there's some big gaps opening up currently at the moment. So we got Mark Draper and Sean Roberts. Jakey's, sorry.
I was going to say, it's almost like Sean Roberts wasn't expecting Draper to have that big of an effort out of turn 1 there. You know, he just kind of surprised him almost. You know, coming out of Paddock Hill.
Yeah, definitely.
Having all that momentum.
Yeah, we got GB and Jakey in the pits, Hankin in the pits, Balcamp and Delmont. This man, Byram, still running. So fair play to him. Luke Mitchell is another one that's still going. So well done to them.
131.72 this time, and it was set inside of a 7-1. So he's 100 off there. That was not a very good lap by CRG.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, 131.72. I don't know. I just
compared to a 131.71, man.
Yeah, I know, man.
He's got to do better than that.
Yeah, he's got to. He's only got a gap of 6 seconds at the moment. So Mikael Leaks, and Leaks hasn't gone in the pits either. So behind that is Scott McFall, and McFall's about 13 seconds down the road. Now, I think from that perspective, I think that CRG, maybe will he have enough? Do you think?
It's going to be close here. He might want to hold out for another lap or two. He's coming down to the end here, so he is going to have to really decide when to take this lap. But he made a great call by staying out there and trying to go up for first place. And, you know, he was able to really just get some clean air. Instead of rolling the dice and hoping for clean air someplace in the midfield, he was able to just kind of take advantage and just, you know, of his pace. Great move. I just don't know if he's got enough to make the move happen right now.
Well,
he might want another lap or two here.
Yeah, well, that's what he's going for currently at the moment. You can see the track map on the right-hand side. You can see the gap between Captain Regarten and Scott McFall. McFall is the white. Regarten's gone quicker again, 131.457. Tyre dipping on the left-hand side there. I can't see past Callum Regarten, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, just so everybody understands here, nobody else has touched the 131s this race.
Yeah.
Nobody. Everybody else is in the 132s. The low to mid 132s. I think the second fastest lap is Dan Mold. He has a 132.26. So that's almost, that's 8/10 faster than his teammate. That's insane. He's just
impressive, isn't it?
Callum Regarten, has just been absolutely dominating this track today, and it's absolutely stellar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really making a name for himself.
Yeah, it's going to be impressive to see how Callum Regarten's season goes. I think there's going to be an interesting battle with Olivier Boltonek if he comes back when he comes back for the rest of the season, because I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. So let's see how this one pans out with Mark Draper in 7th place. He's chasing down Neil Carvalho, who's chasing down Lewis Archer.
SRL TV, he needs to wait for the last lap possible. I see what you think, or what you're saying there, and I think that's probably what he's thinking too. But me personally, there's too many things that could go wrong. I would give myself a couple laps, a buffer, just in case I have to throw in another like ridiculously fast lap there if I have to make a move. I don't want to like have any mistakes happen to me and then, you know, not be able to, you know, make a pass on the last lap or second to last lap. I would come in just a little bit before that. I would come in probably this lap right here. That's what I would do at this point.
Well, he's not going to come in this lap. He's got past.
Yeah, no, he's completely just ignoring me. But I'm not his crew chief, so I mean, there's a reason why I'm up here in the booth and not out there. He's absolutely flying. He's absolutely killing it, and does not need to listen to me. That's for sure.
Well, 6.6 KIR as well. No offense. The guy really kind of, you know, knows what he's doing. However, for Lewis Archer here, he's got Neil Carvalho pushed up right behind him and Mark Draper. You know, I'd take away about 5K of that, and that's roughly where I am. So, you know, hey-ho, don't mind me. I'll sit in me little mid-pack.
You a show off?
Hey, mate, I'm only at 1.6. I'm nowhere near a show-off. So, I've been driving ovals all week, you know what I mean? There goes Mark Draper on the inside of Neil Carvalho. How are these guys going to get on here? Oh, Mark's going to run it through. He's not.
Oh, that looked like some net code. I don't think they were actually touching there. Great save, though. Able to really keep it out of the wall, but I'm not sure if that was...
Callum Regarten's in the pits.
Here we go.
McFall is coming round the last corner. Reed Garton is just going to be looking at coming out the pits very, very shortly. He's out now.
He's out of the pits.
Yeah, he's made
absolutely just gone.
Yeah, he made it out. There is Callum Reed. There is Scott McFall. So it's just Mikael Lees who's not in the pits at the moment. So I'm sure Mikael Lees will be looking at coming on, especially the fact that his gap is there, and there is the man that's pitted right behind him.
Yeah, and CRG really just absolutely opened up a giant hole there. For him to be right back on Mikael Lees like that quickly after going into the pits, even though Mikael hasn't been in the pits, just shows you the pace advantage. That being said, Mikael Lees having a great race here. Unless he makes any mistakes, I find it hard to believe that he might fall out of the top 5.
I think he's left it too late. I think
so?
Yeah, I think he left it too late. As soon as Reed caught up with him, I would have been in the pits. He had a little bit of a buffer to McFall. He might have been able to make it work. I think he's left it too late. I think he's going to go down the order. I just can't see him surviving. That's the thing.
You're right.
But
you see here, Callum Reed is really just getting right back up on him, though. He's only a couple tenths off him now.
Yeah. I think from Reed's point of view, from Lee's point of view, he should have got in a little earlier. He's got in now.
Coming in right now.
Yeah. Reed coming in, Lee's coming in now, but watch. There's one.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Where's Archer, though?
I think he's going to be a 4th. I think he'll come out in front of Lewis Archer. Yeah, he will. 4th place.
Yeah, so I was saying, that's what I was saying. He's not going to fall out of the top 5. I mean, he might now. I'm not sure if he has the pace to stay ahead of Archer here, but we'll see here in the last couple laps here. But definitely great race there by Mikael Lees. He was up quite a few positions, up 6 positions at one point up in the lead. And, you know, he had a big spin there in the first race that kind of looked like it might have ruined things for him. Got stuck in the middle of the field there in the sprint race, really making it work it out for himself here in the final. So
yeah,
great race there by Mikael Lees.
Cavallio now going up beside Archer as these guys are coming down Pilgrim's Drop at the moment. Archer on the left, Cavallio in the Audi on the right hand side. Here we go now on this run down into Hawthorns we go. Archer's on the inside, Cavallio's on the outside. Dan Mould's coming. Mark Draper's caught right back up as well. Oh, Carvalho, Draper.
Oh, Draper.
Look at that run. Coming up for a dingle down now. Oh, the run Draper got was unbelievable there. Don't forget, Mark Draper did go off in the battle with Nilton Carvalho. We are on the last lap of the race as well. Callum Reed in there now. The last lap is just going up through Druids at the moment. This is the last lap for these guys as well.
Dan Mould putting in a 1:31.92. Great lap for Dan Mould there. Looks like he's trying to move himself back into 2nd place. Not sure he's going to be able to do so, but he is definitely moving up the field.
Mould, Draper went to make a move and unfortunately ended up back out behind the back there of Lewis Archer. Last Honda in the top 5, but for how long? Well, Lewis Archer is
literally
now
as soon as he asked
yeah,
that question.
none in the top 5 last race. Well, that answers that question. It does there, buddy. But yeah, the Hondas have struggled a bit in the feature where they did, you know, they did well in the sprint. So yeah,
Well, I saw SRL here was saying that he was surprised to see so many Hondas, and he's not wrong.
Well, I think this is going to kind of wrap it up here. Callum Reed now is coming round the last corner. We'll pick up on him at the moment as he comes across the line. There is Callum Reed. Oh, there's, I believe that's one of the GTR boys off the side there. Callum Reed in 1st. Scott McFall 2nd. Dan Mould Blade Designs comes across the line in third. Mikael Lees in fourth. Neil Carvalho fifth. Lewis Archer, Mark Draper. This is going to be the rundown. Can Draper hold it running outside?
Oh.
No!
Yeah, he lost it there.
Archer's going to get a position in sixth. Draper in seventh. Sean Roberts going to cross the line in eighth with Laura Ubasek behind him. So there we go. Dan Mould taking the third place in the end. Well, that was an exciting race, wasn't it?
That was stunning, as you see SRL TV Drift King Draper over here. Yeah, really losing that side, going sideways there in that final corner. But yeah, man, this is just wheel-to-wheel action throughout the entire race. It was great. I'm glad that glad I was able to join you today.
Yeah, welcome to the United Touring Car Championship, because this is what it's like every single week. An incredible, stunning drive from these guys. The results are up, Michael. So let's see. There you go. Have a read.
We got Callum Reedgarden coming in first place, Scott McFowle coming in second place, and Dan Mould riding out your podiums in third place. Mikael Lees, like I said, having a great race there in fourth place. Mikael up 6 positions. Milton Carvello in fifth place. Lewis Archer in sixth place. Mark Draper in seventh place there. Sean Roberts in eighth. Laura Ubersack in ninth. Daniel Thomas in 10th. Chris Byron in 11th. Stuart Gibbons in 12th. Jakey RGB in 13th. Luke Mitchell in 14th. Elliot Hankin in 15th, Ivan Belkamp in 16th, Derek Crofter in 17th, and Adam McNally in 18th.
Yeah, there we go. That is it. The timing tower. That's it for the results. You've got Regan, Dan Mould, Mark Draper, all for Blade Designs there as well. Just Derek Crowther, unfortunately, not being able to finish after being involved in the lap 1 incident. So let's, fair play to the guys from that team. Blade Designs doing an absolute stellar job there. I think it's going to be interesting now as we move on to Monza, how this is all going to pan out here. I think the championship is so close currently at the moment that it's going to be an interesting one how these guys cope with that, and I think we'll have a look next week at the championship standings after this race. But CRG is doing a business at the moment, isn't he? He's kind of getting up there, isn't he? And I'm finding it tough to see that people are going to struggle to challenge him at the moment. I just want to have a look back at Derek Crowther. Here's the opening lap. So this is where it all kicked off, isn't it, Michael? Look, we've got Crowther here. You can see him.
Yeah, everything seems fine through here. Everybody's getting a little close, but nothing too big. You're coming through turn 1, down the dip, coming up the hill. They start getting 3 wide there, and then he just gets the love tap from behind. It looks like there's 2 or 3 cars spinning around there, but it wasn't really his fault. He just got spun from behind, and it's just unlucky there, and just instantly just puts his head down and jumps straight to the pits.
Absolutely. We're going to have Scott McFall is going to be in the booth with us this evening, and it's such a pleasure here to have a chat with Scott. Scott, good evening to you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not bad. Thanks. Yourself, guys?
Yeah, I'm still good, mate. I'm all good. I've just watched some absolutely epic racing again. Third place for you in the feature race. How do you think your evening's been overall?
Yeah, to be fair, it was actually okay. I managed second with the feature race.
Oh
and
yeah,
fourth.
sorry, it was second. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, so it was a good turnaround. The only reason I was close to not racing tonight, but luckily enough I managed to get my daughter to sleep, and we got on the grid. And the whole aim for tonight was just to try and maximise team points towards the Constructors' Championship for us.
Yeah, that's really the kind of if you've got one aim and that's what you want to do. What do you think about your overall sort of driver standing? You're still sitting in second at the moment. You're only 2 points behind Olivier, who's not here this evening. So that's good. That's a positive, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, it could be. To be honest, I've not really actually gave the single standings much I thought, to be fair. I'm not normally one of the drivers, but it's normally winning on the singles side of things. There's obviously a couple of guys now joined the league as well, that are showing good pace. Callum's obviously running away at the front. Dan Mold's found a good bit of pace within the grid as well. There's a couple of others, so the challenge is really on, as far as I'm concerned, for the single standings.
Yeah, I think the single standings is really going to be crazy at the end of the year, at the end of the season. I think it's going to be, as it develops on, as you say, Callum Reed-Garden has just got pace for days. Dan Mold's quick. You're in the mix at the same time. Olivier's going to be back. So, what do you think next race at Monza is going to be like for you?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to go one of two ways, isn't it, being Monza? It's either going to work out really well, and everybody will be drafting nice and clean, or it could be carnage going into turn one, as we all know.
Yeah, I think it could be as well, buddy. I think it's going to be... Everybody's going to have to try and take it easy. I think I'm hoping. So let's just see how it all pans out. But Scott, thank you so much for joining me in the booth. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to this evening?
Shout out just for yourselves for the stream, the good work you're putting in. So they're always good to sit and watch back after the races, these streams. Also a quick shout out just to the team in general, my teammate Olivier, and it'll be good to get him back in the grid next week.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Scott, for joining me. And maybe we'll look forward to having a chat to you in Monza next week.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Take care, buddy. Right, we got Dan Mold in the booth with us. Dan, good evening to you, sir. How are you?
Hello, boys. All right?
Mate, I'm not bad. Second in the sprint for you. Third in the feature. Not a bad evening to like work, eh?
No, not a bad evening. Car just didn't feel good at all. It just felt really sluggish. But it's what happens when you just chuck on a setup that you haven't tested.
Yeah, but time doesn't always allow us, Dan, does it, to be sitting on the track doing
No.
500 laps, turning bits and bobs up and down like a yo-yo, So appreciates that, obviously, what you've done in that short period of time is incredible considering the results you got. And with Olivier not here, Scott's in second in one in front of you, then he finishes behind you. So you're going to be near enough there or thereabouts on points with each other, overtaking Olivier.
I had a quick look, just I think I'm 7 points behind Scott now. Olivier is still close, and Callum's rapidly catching up.
Yeah.
So it should be a good end to the season.
Yeah, Callum is. Yeah, he seems to he's joined the season, hasn't he? And he just seems to have pace for days. Like
I asked him because Neil said he couldn't continue, so I asked him. He's a good mate of mine. Yeah, he's got pace. He's got incredible pace.
He's got pace all over the place. We're going to have to stick ballast in his car, I think, to slow him down. You know what I mean? He just seems to be absolutely rapid, which, don't get me wrong, for you in the Constructors' Championship could work out well as the season sort of materialises, at the moment. For you guys, it could work out really well because you're sitting in second. You are like 100 points back. But with the fact that you and Callum Reed-Garden are up there every single week with Mark Draper as well, you could be there or thereabouts come the end of the season, couldn't you?
We could be. I mean, Scott and Olivier are tactical magicians, so they always seem to be up there as well. Again tonight, I saw Scott dive in the pit. I thought, right, I'm getting the next lap. I want to try and stick with him throughout the race, and he come out 3 seconds ahead. I was like, it's just what's going on? Is he getting faster to the pits or something? But and then I was catching him. I think there was one corner where I was gaining about 0.2, 0.3 every lap, and I got him down to 1.92 seconds, and then I hit the grass on the start finish line. I was like, that's game over now.
Yeah, but I would tell you a clue though. Pit lane times, right, aren't making much of a difference. Scott's was 18.93, yours was 19.07. So
I don't know what rang then.
I don't know.
I
I don't know where he got 3 seconds from, buddy. But look, it's been an incredible race for us up here in the booth as well. SRL TV says hi, Dan. Just to let you know. Not sure. I hope you know who they are. But Dan, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
all the guys in YouTube chat who are watching. I know there's a few of them in there from SRL. You guys and Luis and Chris for hosting the actual league. It's a good league. Enjoy it every week.
Absolutely as well. Well, thank you, buddy, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Monza.
Thank you very much.
Take care, bud. There you go, Michael. I think, you know, Dan's come out and said that obviously, you know, CRG's quick. We've seen him. It's going to bode well for the constructors. Scott McFall's come out and said that the constructors is really what they're focusing on. So it's kind of a mixed bag about who's focusing what at the moment. And
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, I think.
Yeah, no, I can't agree more, especially with the fact that you have so many different track variations here. I'm really excited for Monza next week. I want to see, you know, just how strong that Audi is on the Monza straights. To be honest with you, seeing it here today on Pilgrim Hill, or the Pilgrim Drop, like just able to really pull away from all the Hondas. I'd really like to see how strong the Audi is going to be next week at Monza. That being said, I know we still have Phillips Island coming up ahead, which is another kind of like Brands Hatch, a little bit of an off-cambered, hilly, you know, elevation change, blind turns. And then I forget, what did you say the other track was?
Oran Park and
Okay.
Red Bull Ring North.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So, yeah,
Short
it's
track,
definitely going
Red
to
Bull
be...
Ring.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a mix of tracks coming up here. So, you know, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where we go here from the championship. But just the fact that, you know, all those guys, obviously Olivier wasn't here tonight, but Scott McFowle's clearly got pace. Dan Mold's clearly got pace. Draper's clearly got pace. And then you throw in a guy like Callum Reed Garton. You know, that's just going to throw the monkey in the wrench for that championship. You know, it's... You got three really strong drivers there, and it's just going to change things up so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be the thing to look out for, guys, as well. If you are here, guys, as well, please subscribe, turn on the bells, and don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up. Olivier Boltonic, good job, Scott, and Nilton Carvalho as well. Thank you, SRL TV, for SRL TV for joining us. Fraser Garrity there. Whoop, whoop. Go Team Blade. Well done. Yep, did an absolutely stellar job as well. So unbelievable there. They called him CRG, Fraser. He's going to love it. Well, yeah, right. It's probably easier than us going Callum Regarton or Regarton or Regarton. So CRG works out well, doesn't it? You know what I mean? He can DM me if he don't like it. Dominic Herbert as well. Thank you again. And Phil across the pond. Craig Waters, much love to you. Mr. BF John, no game side guys yet. We managed to sort that. Thank you so much. And Danny Bleak, looking forward to seeing you back in Monza. And Milky as well. Let's go Team Blade. So there we go. Thank you to everybody that's joined us in chat. You've been absolutely amazing as always. But guys, that is it from us. I look forward to joining you all next week in Monza. It will consist of a new team next week. I am not here. I have a family event I need to go to. But guys, now all that's left for me to say from myself and Michael David, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might just see you on the track sometime. Good night.